All good.
Yo, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, Maurice, I'm good. Are you good? That's the question.
I'm good, Darren. I'm good. I like your room. I like the pictures going on over there. I like it.
Thank you. If I can get your 8 by 11, you'll go under Dice Clay. How's that?
I love Dice Clay.
Who doesn't love Dice Clay? But
It's
hey,
true.
congrats on Dominique. When did you actually film it?
What was it? Like a year and a half ago, I think. Yeah, I think we filmed it maybe a year and a half ago. Hard to keep up with dates, dude. I don't know what happened after COVID. It just everything is a
Well, we
blur.
see a lot of crediting how nice the film is to look at. We see it in like city settings, in rural nature-oriented settings, all over the place in good ways. How much of it was actually filmed in Colombia?
I think 99.9% of it.
Wow.
So yeah.
Had you now your credits are extensive, like just about every favorite show everyone has, you were on for at least two episodes of it, when you look at Breaking Bad, etc. But had you filmed in Colombia before this?
Narcos, yeah, we did Narcos. I was there for a year and a half.
I didn't realize Narcos was on site in Colombia.
Yeah, we were by one of the first big production companies that were there doing a series. Mhm.
Got it. So I'd have to assume that based on the role that you had on Narcos, that kind of leads into a good way the character archetype of this. Am I wrong about that?
Well, no, I mean you can look at him as an amalgamation of many other characters that I've played in the past, and kind of brought together through different pathways into what he needed to be for this particular role.
But in looking at this character, Narcos, Power, all those kinds of things, we know how tough you can play when you want to be tough, etc. Was that what you wanted to be when you first started acting?
No, I really when I started acting, I started on the stage, and I just really loved
Oh,
the idea of connecting to people. I love the idea of feeling that communal kind of feel that you get when you're on stage with people, where I think you're all together in
Rachel.
this one place. Hello?
I hear you. We'll edit
Yeah,
that out. All good.
you're all together just sharing a space, and you're sharing feelings. I think that there's an inherent feeling of being connected to people that really is what drew me to like acting in the beginning. I was involved in theater, and then I was involved in film and theater, and then slowly I left theater behind. I did do a play last year, which was really rewarding for me. Um, and but yeah, it's been the communal feel that's made me love acting, and I think independent really is at the heart of that when it comes to film.
I didn't realize about your theater past, and that's very interesting to me because 20-ish years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, if you were in theater, you were destined to just be a theater person. There wasn't a lot of film and TV appearances unless you were going to pop up in a Law and Order or procedural kind of show. When did you
Which I
start
did.
to notice that you could be film, theater, and TV? You could do it all.
Well, I think there just comes a point where you got to make a decision, because theater is very demanding, and theater dominates a lot of your time. And you know, it also is a process of like being able to not just share the feeling, but to share, the messages. I think the films that I started off doing, the messages were much more outright and straightforward, in terms of lesson. And I was younger, and I was really interested in like being able to tell these very kind of straight messages based on where I had come from, whether we had done Fidel, and we were talking about like, the communism that, the fervor that was sweeping over Cuba at the time, and, the true nature of like Castro. And or we were doing films as simple as like, the substitute, and like the bad teacher in a school. And like, these were characters that I grew up with in my own hometown. We shot that in my old high school.
Oh,
um you know so it was just an interesting process to be a part of, you know what I mean? So those were the things that drew me into film, that made the transition feel like it was meaningful. It still is.
when you're saying old high school, New Orleans area?
No, Miami. I was raised in Miami.
Oh, so Wikipedia is wrong about you because they say that you're born and raised in New Orleans.
I was born in New Orleans, but I was raised in Miami.
Got it. So we're learning new things, and hopefully Wikipedia picks up that correction and gets you right in the future. But again, back to Dominique, what was your gateway into the film? Was it a just an offer or was it an audition?
It was Oksana coming to me through a friend and asking if I would be interested in reading the script. And I read it, and then I got back to her, and then I talked to Mike, and I got his vision for the film. And they asked me if I wanted to be a part of it, and I did, because I really ended up liking not just the message in the film, but I ended up really connecting with Mike's vision for it. So I figured, let's go.
Wow. And hopefully you work with them all again. Is there a personal highlight coming away from the production?
Just their friendship. I think that those are the best highlights to have, just a long-term relationship that you meet in this industry, you know, feeling that you're going to be connected to people for a long period of time, not just for work's sake, but because you actually like one another is very meaningful.
The last question I have about it before I ask the last thing, and then let you go so you can talk to the next person asking you the same questions over and over and over again, is with a film like this, it looks very intense to us, the viewers, but were there at least some laughs or fun?
It was all laughs. You gotta have laughs the entire time that you're doing stuff. Otherwise, just like by the time you get to film, you look worn and like beat down. Like, no, you gotta be laughing the entire time. You gotta enjoy it. It's always a running start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the running start for acting is always laughter.
Okay, so it sounds like we need to hear and see the bloopers eventually if that happens. The last question before I let you go: are we allowed to know where we're going to see you next in film or television projects?
Let's see, what do I have next? Well, we have Hotel Cocaine, and I might be part of season 2, as an actor. I have another film that I'm putting together that we're going to start shooting in 2025 called Spiral. There's a couple other projects that that have been circulating. But right now it's just I don't know. I'm enjoying what I'm doing with this kind of stuff, and this is where my heart has been for the last like few months. Like Hotel Cocaine, really, watching that story unfold, watching this story unfold, but really being part of the writing of the story itself has really inspired me to to do that level of storytelling as well. I love acting, and I'll always come back to it, but yeah, this is something that I'm enjoying right now.
Well, looking forward to that stuff that you just mentioned. Congrats on Dominique, and thank you for the years of great art, Maurice.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Darren.
Paltrocast.